Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me, your host, Tommy Gilbert, as we sit down and take a behind-the-scenes look into Titan athletics with weekly interviews with coaches and athletes. This is Titan Table Talk. Hello, Titan fans, and welcome back into the Ames Library podcast studio for week 4 of Titan Table Talk here in the fall 2023 season. Today's first guest is Titan volleyball senior Taylor Babec. Taylor, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's been exciting to watch the volleyball team take on a real tough slate, obviously, in the first month of the season. This past week, no different. Got to play a big conference match against Carthage at home. Unfortunately, dropped that one on Wednesday, but bounced back for a big win over Illinois College on Saturday morning before hanging with number 2, an undefeated Hope on Saturday. How'd you guys feel coming out of this week?
There was a lot of great moments. We talked about it in the locker room or the whole time. We were proud, but I think we could have knocked off at least a set off of Hope. That's what we're hoping for. We were right there with them. We had everything we needed. It's just we couldn't put it together. But I was very proud of us. We had a lot of great moments, a lot of great things come out of this weekend, and we're really excited to move on and for our next match on Wednesday.
Yeah, it had that set point in the second set against Hope, and they rallied back to take the final 3 and take that 26-24, but certainly had a lot of moments where it looked like, it's a team that is bigger and probably more talented than we are around the court, and really hung with them very nicely in that second match of the day. Looking ahead to this week, another conference match coming up against Augustana, once again at home, Wednesday at 7 p.m., first serve for that one. How are you guys preparing for the Vikings over the next couple days?
We usually have our scouting report, and we do that in practice and make sure we're doing everything we need to really prepare for this match. I think we're all excited to get back into the gym today and really work hard and ready to take it again on home on Wednesday and bring it to them. Augustana always brings everything they have against us, so we're excited to have great competitions on Wednesday.
Yeah, I believe Titans had a five-match winning streak over several years going against the Vikings before they knocked us off at their place last year in the fifth set. So certainly looking for a little bit of revenge there on Wednesday, absolutely coming up. And thinking back to kind of some of the changes in the team between last year and this year, particularly the ones that affect you, most importantly, the graduation of Evie Macris, who played middle alongside you for the last few years, which has really moved you into kind of the senior leader of the middle role, especially playing alongside a couple of freshmen, and Eleanor Palmer and Paige Peterson when Paige gets in. And especially with the season-ending injury to Jesse Suriev, how have you kind of taken that role on in the last few weeks as really kind of being the leader of your position group?
It's been interesting because I haven't been the lead middle in a while. Since Evie graduated, it's really different. I've always had her in there ever since I've been here, but it hasn't been too hard of a transition because I'm really determined, and I'm believe in all my middles, and we always work together. We're always laughing. We're always helping each other and making sure we're doing the best, and we're getting every little skill down and right. And when we come off the bench, we're like, okay, we need to do this. We got this, little things, and we're always in it together. The freshmen are doing great. They're freshmen, so they're getting there, but they're doing amazing. I am very proud of them. I always tell them how much they're doing great and how much I appreciate them. So it's great to see them thrive, and they did very well this weekend. It's weird being in a lead role, but I kind of like it. I'm getting used to it and making sure I'm on my game so they're on their game as well, and trying to lead them where they need to be and give them encouragement, give them everything they need to prevail.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're talking especially about not just a couple of juniors or sophomores playing behind you, but really a couple of freshmen, as long as hopefully Jesse is back fully healthy next season.
Yes.
But really largely a couple freshmen, and then occasionally Morgan Harrington sliding over. Mm-hmm. But it's important not just to have someone who's a statistical leader on the team in terms of yourself, second with 92 points, fourth with 67 kills, second with 29 blocks, 7 solos as well, first, but someone who's going to be able to, teach them, okay, depending on what offense we're running, where am I supposed to be? Where am I supposed to be at any given time? Because that is, coming in from different club teams, different high school teams, that can be a big adjustment for our freshmen. And you feel like that there's been some difficulties, or have been pretty smooth making that transition to college ball for them?
There's always difficulties, especially for a middle, because it is much faster paced game than it is compared to high school and club ball. I remember my freshman year, it was very fast and I was very overwhelmed, but they've handled it very well. They really have stepped up since Jesse has been out. And they really push themselves. They're very determined. They're hard on themselves, but they're hard on themselves in a good way to push themselves through and really thrive. They have all the keys. All our coaches are very supportive and be like, hey, we need to do this. We got this. We're working really hard in practice. I think we're one of the most hard-working positions on the team. Even the coaches say their middles are working their butts off. Like, give them the ball. Like, come on. Like, they're working hard. Like, because our middle is a hard job of you're always blocking, you're always doing something, you're transitioning, you're running, you're always on the move. So I'm just really proud of them. Especially this weekend, I saw some great things from them. And it's great to see them improving. They're like my little children. It's cute.
So when we rewind a couple of years to thinking about, you talk about that transition you were making 3 years ago into your first season of college volleyball and how it felt so much faster. Mm-hmm. Were there any particular either things or cues or people who were able to kind of help you make that adjustment and figure out what do I need to do to be a successful collegiate volleyball player?
My senior, so like Evie, she was like my close buddy when I first got here, and she like really helped me through it. She's like, you got this, like, come on, you got like, just push through, and like, we got this. And like, Kim was a great help. All my coaches were a great help, telling me what I need to do. And it was mostly all in my head. I feel like when I was down, it was mostly just myself holding myself back. And then when I told myself, I was like, you got this. You've played volleyball for so long. All you have to do is just keep playing, and stop beating your head. And I eventually prevailed through. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about, it's important in every sport to some degree to have a real bad short-term memory sometimes.
Yes.
But particularly so in volleyball, where as a middle, you might be involved 2 or 3 times on almost every single point. Mm-hmm. You're going to make mistakes, whether it's in coverage, whether it's simply just not getting up for blocking time throughout a set, and you need to be able to turn it off within that instant, not get down on yourself, and be able to play in system the entire time. And make sure you can pick your head back up. And that is, it's so important to be able to set that example. And so let's rewind even a little bit further for our fans out there who want to know a little bit more about, Taylor Babec, the person coming into, your high school career and starting to get to the point where you were thinking about college. What was it that originally brought you to Illinois Wesleyan?
Well, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. I wanted to go really far from my house. I wanted to go, somewhere on a beach, somewhere like super cool. And then it wasn't really realistic for me at that point. And then I got an email from Wesleyan to come and visit. So I was like, okay, I might as well visit. My mom was like, oh, I've heard some good things. And my cousin and his wife went here. They met here. Mm-hmm. So they kind of convinced me, like, yeah, you should go visit and see how it is. And then we loved it. Me and my mom were like, this is a cool place. Like, every little thing was put together. Everyone was very nice. I liked the small campus. Felt like a home. The team, when I met the team, we all made jokes the first time I was there. It was just like a loving family. And it just fit because it wasn't too far from home, because I live up in Plainfield, like an hour and 30 north from here. So it's not too far, but it's not super close where I'm not, I can branch out and not be so homebodied all the time, which I like. But I'm able to go home if I need to, which is nice, yeah.
Far enough to be away, but close enough to be accessible, essentially.
Yes.
So finally, blood drive coming up this Thursday, 11 to 4, I believe, or somewhere in that range. In your name, want to give us the little plug for that and why that's so important?
The blood drive is so important because there is a shortage of blood right now, and we need to get that blood out there for people that need it, because it is very vital for them to be, and to go through the treatment they're going through, whatever they're going through and why they need it. It's important, and you can't just live without it. And giving blood, it takes like maybe 30 minutes, depending on how fast you give blood. And it's very easy. All you have to do is sit there, and then you get like free drinks, usually like free, like apple juice, orange juice, water. They give you like Cheez-Its. I love the Cheez-Its there. They give you free Cheez-Its, free snacks afterwards. And sometimes they even give you a free little gift, because I know we're giving out, I think, either like a gift card or like a free little cute sweatshirt this time, which is really fun. I'm really excited to see those. And it's so much fun, because the atmosphere at a blood drive, all the people that are taking your blood, they're super friendly. They love to make jokes. They do love to hang out, and they're super positive all the time. The atmosphere at a blood drive is something different, because it's so positive and uplifting. And it's just a fun environment. I've always been around blood drives because of my mom. She's been doing it, I don't even know how long, forever, ever since I've remembered. And I love going and hanging out, eating all the snacks. And then even if I can't donate, it's fun just helping out and volunteering my time, and for a good cause,
Mm-hmm. So the official details on that: Thursday, September 28th, 11:30 to 4:30.
Yeah.
We were close.
Yeah.
Half an hour off. Main floor of Hanson Student Center. If you want to schedule an appointment, there are QR codes around the Shirk Center, or you can call 800-747-5401. Taylor, good luck on Wednesday with the match against Augustana. Good luck on Thursday with the blood drive, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a few moments with Illinois Wesleyan head football coach Norm Eash.
Why is Illinois Wesleyan the #1 school in Illinois for jobs? Maybe it's because we're the AND University. That's right, A-N-D. And. Here you can explore the arts and study in a pre-professional program, double major, and play a sport, do an internship, and study abroad. Your opportunities are endless. Set yourself apart with a degree from Illinois Wesleyan.
And welcome back. Our second guest this week will be Illinois Wesleyan head football coach Norm Eash. Coach Eash, once again, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
It's great to be here. It was a tough weekend, so I'm glad I showed up, right?
We are glad to see you either way. Yes, Titans took it on the chin up in Waukesha this weekend, but you have to, especially with a collegiate team that you're always trying to develop, you have to look for positives and look for things that you can take away from that as you evaluate your team moving forward. And one of the biggest things I think you can take away from a second half of a game that wasn't real close at halftime is, were you happy with the fight you saw in that last 30 minutes? Anyone in particular that stood out to you?
Yeah, it was a disappointing loss. It was our first really road trip, overnight trip, so there's a lot of things going on. I thought that our kids were prepared, and, we did a walkthrough at Beloit on Friday. They seemed very focused. But we ran into a good Carroll team that played with a lot of desire and passion. I think they remembered the game that we beat them. We came from behind last year and beat them. They remembered that. And so I think they had circled it a little bit, and they came out very strong and took it right down and scored. And then we had 3 turnovers. And you look up on the scoreboard, and there's 21-0 in the first 5 minutes. That's tough to come back, from. And I thought we did the second half. We did come out and do some really good things. So there's some positives. But right now, I think we're dealing with the mental aspect of our season, and where we're at with our players. And we had a big meeting yesterday, and so we're talking about a lot of different things right now.
Yeah. Any kind of takeaways that you want to share with us from your message to your team, or do you want to keep that in-house for now?
Well, I think the message is, and as a coach, it might be a coaching cliche when I say this, but you get on Saturday what you get in practice, and I think our focus in practice has to be better. I think we have to be able to run the ball a little bit more than we have in the past, but that's hard when you get down so quick, and that's what's happened in the first 3 ball games. And a lot of that is our offense putting our defense in a really bad situation. Now, we gave them some points on an interception and a fumble sack, and that was 14 points right there. So, it's the offense and defense working together. Again, the same stuff I mentioned before, controlling field position and momentum and all those things. We just need some good things to happen early right now. I mean, that will help the mental psyche of our team more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is, do you see any adjustments that you can make as a coaching staff, you can make on the offensive line to get the running game going a little bit? But again, realizing that when you have a negative game script from the start, it's pretty tough to, put yourself in that position.
Yeah, I think there's some personnel decisions that we're dealing with a little bit. You always want to put the right pieces of the puzzle together, and maybe that's up front a little bit. We have some playmakers. I think Miles Key is having a great season, and Trayvon Moore and Kevin Graham. So, we're going to look at ways to make sure all three of those are on the field at the same time, and you can do that through personnel groupings. Right now, it's a quarterback situation. I mean, Jay Lemonager started the season. He got hurt at Wheaton. We decided to bring Ryan Sachs back into the quarterback room. He was in the receiving room because he did a nice job for us and won some ball games for us last year. And so we worked with him all week with Jay being hurt. He had a good week of practice, but he was part of some of those turnovers too. And then we also have Zach Hines, and he came in for 3 plays, and he was injured. And so we went back with Ryan, and at the very end, we went with Dermot Smythe, which is a freshman, and I thought he did an excellent job. So I think Dermot's in the picture now too. So, we got to find somebody that can command the huddle and run our football team, and our offensive team has confidence in. And so that's what we got to find right now.
Absolutely. And now that we're on week 4 of doing this together, you're clearly doing a very good job of predicting my questions and lines of conversation here, because the next 2 things I had down were some of those offensive bright spots this past week. A couple of touchdowns for Kevin Graham, 9 catches for 145 yards for Miles Key, 4 for 90 and a touchdown for Matt Young. And then, of course, Trayvon Moore and his 80 yards receiving. And we hit that pretty well, I think. A couple of sacks for Zach McNeese on defense as well. But then again, talking through that quarterback situation going forward. So you were happy with what you saw from Dermot Smythe?
Yeah, he's a very composed quarterback for a freshman. I asked him, "Are you nervous?" He says, "No," and he goes in there and throws 2 touchdown passes. And you could sense that our offensive players have confidence in him, which is a big part of it right now. I have a saying: every time you win, you gain confidence. Every time you lose a little confidence. And I think our players believe in what we're doing, but it's really tough, when you're sitting at 0-3 and people, I'm sure, outside our circle are asking questions about, well, what's wrong with the offense and this and that. So, we need to build some confidence. This week we're playing Millikin, which is 0-3. We're 0-3, so somebody's going to get a win this weekend. And we want it to be us. And so we got to prepare like it's our Super Bowl. We're at that point in our season where we need to get a win. And we got to go on the road again, but it's not a trip like Carroll. But the main thing we have to do is find our quarterback, who's going to lead us, scale down our offense, and do the things in our game plan very well. And if we do that, I think we'll be very successful because we do have some players. Defensively, I'm concerned because, we've had the same players for the last 2 years. And our defense was going to carry us a little bit this year. And they played well the first game against Central, I thought. And then we didn't tackle very well against Wheaton. And now this game we gave up some big plays. And that's uncharacteristic of our defense. So we have to go back and evaluate some things on defense this year. I don't think it's a personnel. We have a lot of veterans back there. Now we're dealing with some injuries there. We really missed Shea Gaffney in the secondary. He got hurt. And so we got to find that person that can step in and replace him a little bit. But, we got to go down to Millikin, and we got to play great football.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing that this weekend, Coach. 1 p.m. Saturday kickoff in Decatur. Good luck to you, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back momentarily and speaking with 2 Titan women's tennis players, Amber Ehrlich and Kate Christian.
Hey there, Titan fans! The Titan Streaming Network is looking for new sponsors for the 2023-2024 season. If you are interested in sponsoring the live streams and having your brand or company showcased during the games, don't hesitate to reach out to live stream coordinator Tyler Wilson at twilson2@iwu.edu. Together we can form a partnership that helps all sides and allows us to continue showcasing and supporting Titan athletics. Thank you, and go Titans!
Welcome back inside the Ames podcast studio, our third and final guests, or really our third and fourth guests together for this fourth episode of Titan Table Talk. We'll be welcoming in Amber Ehrlich, freshman tennis player from Springfield and Glenwood High School, and Kate Christian, her sophomore teammate from Washington. How are we doing today, ladies?
Doing good. Doing good.
I'm so excited to have you both with us today. Hopefully on the technical side, this goes perfectly. This is our first tandem teammate interview, so very excited for that this fall. And it's been a really fun opening to the season for the women's tennis team. 3-4 on the season thus far, a couple of nice opening wins against Concordia and Illinois College, a few losses in CCW play, kept within 6-3 against Millikin, and then a nice 9-0 sweep of Alverno on Saturday. How are we feeling about the year so far?
I think it's been a really fun year so far. I mean, we've definitely had some of the tough matches, especially the Chicago schools, but I think we've really come together as a team, and we've really had a lot of fun, and we just keep building off each other.
It's been great to see the improvement from last year. I know there were some struggles just to get games on these difficult teams, but it's been a great rebuilding year, and having a bunch of new teammates as well as old teammates, we really bonded over things, and definitely had a lot of success and able to get a lot of games in the matches.
For sure.
Yeah, it's been fun to kind of keep an eye on. I was going to walk out to one of your matches the other day, and then I realized it had been going for about 40 minutes and was actually across town at Evergreen and not right outside, which leads me into that next question. This is the first year, not of having anything out at Evergreen Racquet Club on the east side of Bloomington, but of having all of our home matches out there. How has that experience been for you guys so far?
It's been really exciting for me. So it's really fun to go over to Evergreen because they have 4 really nice courts, and they're building 2 new courts for us to use. Hopefully, they were supposed to be ready in the fall, but they're running a little behind schedule, so we should have them by the spring. But it's been really nice just to have the nice newer courts out there because I think the courts are like a year old.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like a year-old courts. So they're very nice courts, and it's a really good area. And then if it does happen to rain, we do have a little indoor area where we can continue playing and don't have to postpone.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit of an adjustment just to have to drive over there, but it's definitely worth it. I mean, the facility is just wonderful, and it's nice, like she said, to have the indoor court backups.
Absolutely, and especially, we've had a beautiful fall so far. As you get into the deeper part of fall season and then the early part of spring season especially, it can get a little tricky out there sometimes. We all know that. One of my favorite memories actually from college was the night before reading day of first semester my sophomore year. We got at first snow about 11 p.m. and I talked a couple of my roommates into going outside and playing snow tennis when there was about, I would say, a quarter of an inch of snow on the ground. So like you were slipping and sliding, the ball was bouncing a little bit. I can tell you we do not want to be playing competitive tennis in that. So
Yeah, that's what our second matches of the year, our first home matches, was against Illinois College. And we were able to get our 3 doubles matches in outside, but then it just started pouring like crazy. So we were luckily able to quickly head inside and keep everything on track so we didn't have like very long delays.
Yeah, without having to drive across town to do it. It's
Yes.
beautiful. So as you look at kind of your early season schedule, obviously, one of those things you have to consider is you've had, I believe this will be your third week coming up in a couple weeks with 3 different matches throughout the week. And trying to find time for practice and conditioning while also keeping your legs rested enough to be competitive in a 3 out of 5 day span. How do you and your coaches kind of balance that?
I think one of the things we do is we do less intense practices the day before a match. So we kind of try and not doing an extra long running warm-up. We do more of a shorter warm-up just to kind of get loose, not to really work on that conditioning, just to make sure we're kind of well rested and really are able to take a breath for the next day and not being super sore.
Yeah, those are definitely the days we focus more on form and just things we've noticed throughout the matches that we want to improve on rather than overworking ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So, Kate, now is your beginning of your second year here as a Titan tennis player. I want to talk to you a little bit about, having still a pretty young team this year, I believe 6 combined freshmen and sophomores on the roster. But what are some of the differences you've seen between the start of last season and the start of this season, even with a young squad?
Well, it's definitely a different team this year, I'll say. Last year, a lot of people were just learning for the first time or just kind of playing above our level, so it could get discouraging at times, but one thing we really had was a positive attitude throughout, and I think we've kind of kept that going, but it's been even better to be able to get some wins and having some new teammates as well. It's definitely a bit more fun just to have some of that success, but throughout, all the girls have been great. We've been able to implicate some stuff that we didn't know about last year and get it going and just create more of a team atmosphere that wasn't really there when I arrived, and just making sure the new freshmen are involved and are excited about what we have going on.
Mm-hmm. And turning to speak to one of those new freshmen, Amber, obviously a lot of success throughout your high school career, but what has that adjustment been like in your first few weeks of collegiate tennis?
Well, in high school, I was more of a doubles player, so I really focused on doubles, and that's where I found a lot of success. But coming to Illinois Wesleyan, Coach Jason was very clear from the start he was going to use me as a singles player. So it's definitely been a very big adjustment, kind of switching, because it's just a whole different mindset, a whole different idea of play, different styles. So it's definitely been an adjustment, but Coach Jason's been really great at helping to work with me through changing from the really wide doubles alley angles and like poaching at the net to more of being more consistent, waiting for that shot, really being patient, which I did struggle a little bit with that, but really being patient and waiting for the perfect ball to come.
Feels like there might be some good stories there, but we'll save that one for another time. And that is, it's kind of one of the unique aspects of where the program is at right now, is that you have a quote-unquote new coaching staff as of last year, but not really a new coaching staff at all. Jason Van Hooklen, the head coach, was the head coach for the men's team from 2006 to 2014. Rick Zamudio, the head coach of the women's team from 2011 to 2017. So obviously, aside from decades of experience as tennis pros and coaches, a lot of experience at Illinois Wesleyan, despite the fact that they're coaching officially together on this team for the first time in a while. How do you feel like they've been able to prepare you for some of these early season challenges?
I think they've really been positive to help prepare, because I was playing number one. I'm having to play some really high-level goals, especially recently we played North Central. And I think they have the best team in the CCIW. Yeah. They have the best team by far. They're really good. We were excited to get games off of them. And so going into that match, I was a little nervous and worried because I knew I was going to be lucky to get a few games. But Jason kind of, in between games, in between matches and stuff, he kind of talked me up, helped build up my confidence of I might not be able to necessarily win, but I can battle and make every point a challenge for my opponent, even if I knew the end result was going to be before it started. I didn't have to make it easy for him.
I think it's also great that they both bring their own coaching style, so that we're able to learn so much from different points of views. And I think that's extremely helpful, knowing that some people are learning for the first time or just improving their game by a long shot. So I think that's been great.
Yeah, and it's been certainly fun to see a little bit from afar. As you look ahead at this next couple weeks, kind of have a more down week here when it comes to competition-wise, but then wrapping up big time next week, October 3rd, heading out to Monmouth, then the 4th against Elmhurst, and then Saturday and Sunday of homecoming weekend. Home matches against Carthage on Saturday at 10 a.m., Carroll on Sunday at 9 a.m. Anything in particular that you're looking for as you head into that week, either goals or preparation-wise?
I'm really looking forward to getting to play all these new opponents. I'm really excited. Coach Jason thinks we have, against Elmhurst, we should have tough battles that match. We're actually making that our Titan Green game. So we're hoping we get some fans and stuff out there, but we're hoping to make that a really strong battle with the team. So I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. I know it was definitely a pretty good match last year. So just for it to be a little bit more even this year. And yeah, I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Well, hope you guys can all come on out to at least one of those. Once again, Wednesday 10-4, Saturday 10-7, Sunday 10-8. All home matches, all CCW play, all different start times, so make sure you double check that schedule. But 3 p.m. on Wednesday the 4th, 10 a.m. on the 7th, and 9 a.m. on the 8th, all out at Evergreen Racket Club. And before we close things out, just a little bit of insight on on both of you and coming through 4 years of high school, and before that, kind of what was it that first made you start looking at Illinois Wesleyan, and ultimately why did you choose to end up here and spend 4 years here?
Well, this is just last year for me, so it's pretty recent. But I really like the location. So my sophomore year of high school, I was kind of looking here just because I thought the location was nice. I wanted to be close to home, but far enough away that I could visit, and they've got really great academics. But it kind of fell off my radar a little bit my junior year. But my senior year with Coach Jason, he kind of revamped it, kind of like, hey, you should come check us out again. So I came on back out. I met with the team, and I just loved everyone. So really, Wesleyan kind of had a great location. It has great academics, and the team is just awesome.
Yeah, kind of similar for me. I definitely fell in love with the campus as soon as I stepped foot on it. And looking into their academics, they had a lot of the programs I was interested in, and I knew I'd be able to get a great education. And I knew I just wanted to continue playing tennis, and they offered me the chance.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting first year and a half a year so far, and looking forward to much more to come. Once again, come on out, check out the Titans in the next couple weeks. Amber here, 4-3 at number one singles. Already picked up 3 wins, paired with Olivia Bell at number one doubles. As you said, you're especially in high school. Kate, 3 victories so far at number 2 singles and 4-3 at number 2 doubles this year. Let's keep the wins rolling in, ladies. Good luck with the rest of your season. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.